Alright, we back again. This time reacting to other stuff on the we saw this one on the Athletics Interest YouTube channel. Just to show you what I'm looking at. Here we're talking about how streaming ruined football. So yeah, here goes.
Team play. But somehow, watching football in 2025 feels like solving a Rubik's Cube with your wallet. You've got your Sky...
Wait, hold up. What? I missed that.
2025 feels like solving a Rubik's Cube with your wallet. You've got your Sky login on the TV, TNT app on your phone, Amazon Prime on the tablet, and somehow your team's still not on. In the UK, you need 3 separate subscriptions just to follow one league.
What? Seriously? Seriously? You guys have to fix that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not plugging in, but I'd even rather get DSTV and just watch it straight up. Simplicity is one of the key aspects of a thriving product for a specific market. If you're going to make it this difficult, trust me, streaming is gonna be a problem. Why would I do this? What's all this for? What are all these subscriptions for? Give me one thing and get to it. If you guys can have a partnership, make one product, all 3 of you, Sky, TNT, Prime, Amazon Prime, make one product. Let me get I can register on the 3 different sites, fine. But the thing is, let me just click and watch straight up. But hey, this is too much. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this.
Twice as much as a decade ago. So fans.
Wait a minute. What? Pay as what?
As much as a decade ago.
Yeah. Stop. Once again. 10 years ago, it was $36, which, if we're looking at rough estimates, let's do the math here. Here we're not going to do past valuation. We'll just use present valuation or PV for those of you who did finance. So what is 36 pounds in $2? Yeah, $48. If you put it in your local currency. That's fair. It's not bad, but it's still a lot for TV. It's still a lot. It is still a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like if anything, like the most if you guys want like people to use your subscription, trust you me, the most affordable package should be half of this. It should be like $25. And anyone, you can raise your hand, like tell me if that is too expensive or too much or whatnot. And of course, the cheapest, I'm saying the most basic should be half of this, which is $25. For those who can afford, or like the cheapest amount should be $10 straight up. But for TV, me getting $48, this is even a lot, by the way. There's no person who can be able to afford this. And that's why you find, especially in Africa, I don't know if the other African countries do have this issue, but in Kenya, this kind of TV is usually found in bars because that's what football is for, basically. Yeah. So, and Guys, just go and watch it at the pub and be done with it. And I've not paid for anything in my house. The pub has paid for it. I just go, well, not me, because of course you won't find me in a pub or a bar. Yeah, so I just listen to the results and that's it, and watch the highlights, like I told you in a previous video. But anyway, that's that. So it's unfortunate. Now, 73 pounds. Let's look at that. How much is 73 pounds right now? $98. It costs $98 for TV. Thank goodness for YouTube. I'll just watch the highlights. Thank you.
So fans became pirates. Fire sticks, Reddit link.
You see this? Fans became pirates. That is the result of making TV so expensive. That's the problem. You guys are not going to buy this.
Discord streams. You know the drill. We don't. We just read about it. Illegal streaming has exploded.
Yeah, stop playing with us. Stop playing with us, Athletic Interest. You guys know where these links are. Piracy will never end until they make all these streaming services affordable. Look at what Netflix has done. Like, literally, you can get the service for $2. $2 on your portable device, particularly, of course, a cell phone or mobile phone, depending on which side of the world you come from. That's how people have not seen the need of, pirating shows that are on Netflix. It's that cheap, and it's per month, as long as you have internet connection. Now, also, seeing as that the cost of internet is practically getting more cheaper and cheaper, and it will get to the point where internet is what do you call it, is a basic need. In fact, it is a basic need. I think, if I'm not wrong, according to the UN, what was it, UN something, what was that? Let's look at that. UN basic needs, UN definition of basic needs. Yes. So we have the AI Gemini version. UN defines basic needs as fundamental necessities for a decent standard of living, encompassing both private consumption and essential services. So there are very many of them: food, shelter, clothing, water, very important, sanitation, health, education, transport, energy, communication. So let's look at the Gemini version. Well, I'm basically going to use Gemini for the sake of this video, so that YouTube can show me some love. So Gemini is internet basic need. I'll make it that simple. Well, there's ongoing debate. A strong argument is emerging that internet access should be considered a basic need, even a human right in the modern world. Here's why. Enabler of human rights, many argue that internet success is not a luxury, but it enables someone to exercise their human rights. Okay, freedom of expression, sharing information and opinions, education, healthcare, telemedicine, and the arguments against it. It's relatively new technology. Some worry that the definition of human rights, that expanding the definition of human rights too broadly can devalue the concept. It's not universally accessible. But I think that's where now the government and corporates should find out where and how they can make it accessible to the point that it is actually considered a basic need. So yeah, but anyway, without diverging away from the main subject, that's where piracy has come to haunt all these entertainment service providers. Um, you know, football, the Super Bowl, um, what do you call it, UEFA Champions League, the FA Premier League, together with all the other leagues as well. We have La Liga. We have there's that German one. I've forgotten it. Yeah, I'm sorry by the way. I don't remember all of them, but yes. Um, yeah. So that's the unfortunate part, and of course, all the movie service providers. We have HBO Max, Amazon Prime, uh, Netflix. But Netflix seems to have caught up real quick. So yeah, YouTube Red. Is it YouTube Red or YouTube Premium? Yeah, that one. Yes.
The
So
internet. There are even chants
moving on.
about it in the stadiums. The entire football industry is freaking out. It's the biggest challenge in the world of football and the sports industry in
La
general.
Liga.
So this isn't just a story about piracy. It's about the broken economics of modern football. How we got here. And what happens when fans, rights holders, and tech platforms go to war. Well,
Yeah.
welcome to Athletic Interest.
Good debunk.
So what happened that we need a spreadsheet to watch football nowadays? To understand,
What? Price doubled in 2 years. Blackout. Yo. Where to watch football? This is crazy. Someone actually made a spreadsheet.
we have to start with one word. Copyright. At its core, copyright is simple. It gives
Wow.
creators exclusive control over their work. If you make something, a book, a song, or a football broadcast, you get to decide who can copy it, distribute it, and profit from it. That's the idea. And for a long time, it was relatively simple to control that. Before Gutenberg, copying a book meant handwriting every word. It was expensive, slow, and limited to elites. Copyright wasn't really an issue, because copying wasn't easy. But once the printing press arrived, suddenly ideas could scale. You could print hundreds of copies, fast, cheap, identical. This freaked out the people in power, like kings and the church, because they no longer controlled who read what. So what did they do? They invented licensing, publishing monopolies, early versions of censorship and copyright to control the copy machine. Fast forward to today, the internet is like the printing press, on steroids.
Yeah.
Now we're not just copying books. Suddenly, every fan with a Wi-Fi connection has access to what is basically a magical copying machine. You click once, and you've cloned a perfect stream in HD in seconds. No quality loss, no physical media, no shipping cost. And no matter how many lawyers or firewalls you throw at it, you can't uninvent the tech. While movies, music,
That's
and books
piracy for
all
you.
had to adapt, football and basically any live sport is different because of life value. A football match isn't a song you replay forever. It's 90 minutes that lose most of their value the moment the whistle
The game
blows.
ends. Yeah.
Once the game is over, the
Yeah.
stream is worthless.
It's worthless.
That
Yeah.
makes the protection of those streams in real time extremely valuable.
Except in scenarios where that game beats the test of time, where either certain plays, certain players, certain moments become classics. So there, those prove to be, I think, I don't know whether we'd call them invaluable or very, very important, if I should say so. But yeah, that's the reason why that's the case.
And extremely difficult. Broadcasters pay billions for that live window. If someone watches it for free, that value evaporates. And you could argue
Yeah.
that we wouldn't have such a high-quality broadcast with HD and super slow-mo cameras if there wasn't so much money in the market to produce it that way.
And I think that is why that's one of the reasons why I think esports also finds a tough challenge. It's because the value of the particular broadcasts or games that they show don't have that intrinsic value that make it exceptional, that when you think about it or you look at it, you're like, wow, I like I should have been there. So yeah, but that's a discussion for another time. Here we're talking about football. So yeah.
So yeah, this is about copyright, but it's also about money and control. And in the age of digital abundance, football rights holders are fighting to keep that control. But they are up against a very powerful opponent. Because the fans are furious. If you live in the UK, you need 3 separate subscriptions to follow just one league.
Why?
And it still won't give you all the games.
Oh,
In Germany,
sheesh.
the zone more than doubled its monthly price in just 2 years. In Italy, fans protested price hikes by boycotting the platform altogether. And in France, so many fans boycotted the zone that the company stopped paying the league, arguing that illegal streaming is killing their business model. The fans are tired of the fragmentation and the prices, so they look elsewhere. Fans adapt, and creators need to adapt too. But just like watching your favorite team's next match without spending a fortune, keeping up in a constantly changing online world isn't easy. That's why you need smart tools. Legal smart tools. And that's where the sponsor of today's video, Ahrefs, comes into play. Ahrefs' free webmaster tools offer automated site audits that pinpoint any issues holding your site back from reaching its full traffic potential. Plus web analytics that show real-time visitor data. All while protecting your privacy and keeping your site fast. And if you want to level up even further, Ahrefs' several paid features got you covered. Track content changes on competitor sites, instantly fix SEO issues flagged by automated audits, and save hours of manual work. All in one place. You can sign up at ahrefs.com/AWT or via the link in the description. Just please don't use it to build the next underground streaming empire. That pirate ship has sailed. Just look at Reddit, Discord, Firesticks, Telegram groups. They share tips, stream links, VPN tutorials. Basically, they are organizing themselves. And that's what makes football different. Piracy has become part of football culture. You see shirts in the pubs and hear it from the stands, loudly enough for Sky's microphone.
What? There is a jersey with Fire Stick on it.
To pick it up. And that sort of movement is what makes this so interesting and threatening to the corporations and people running the show. It's a signal that something in football's media model isn't working anymore.
Who's flashing?
So the football industry is trying to fix it, or at least to fight back. While fans click links, rights holders call their lawyers. There's a whole industry built just to protect content. Digital rights management. For example, the software that locks each stream
DRM.
behind encryption. Think of it like a digital bouncer, checking if you're allowed in. Then there's watermarking, where each legal stream is tagged with invisible or sometimes also visible data like a fingerprint. If it gets leaked, they can trace it back to the source. If a leak is detected, fingerprint.
Hold up. Let's go back to just a moment.
So the football industry is trying to fix it, or at least to fight back. While fans click links, rights holders call their lawyers. There's a whole industry built just to protect content. Digital rights management. For example, the software that locks each stream behind encryption. Think of it like a digital bouncer, checking if you're allowed in. Then there's watermarking, where each legal stream is tagged with invisible or sometimes also visible data like a fingerprint. If it gets leaked, they can trace it back to the source. If a leak is detected, the next layer kicks in. The takedown teams. Regulators like Arcom in France now have the power to block pirated football streams in real time. A domain can be blacklisted minutes after kickoff. UEFA is
Wow.
working with Meta to scan Facebook and Instagram for illegal content. And Sky has called on Amazon to crack down on jailbroken Fire Sticks, accusing them of helping piracy spread. But the biggest hammer is legal enforcement. In the UK, 5 men were sentenced to a combined 30 years in prison for running an illegal streaming service called Flawless. It had thousands of subscribers, its own branding, even customer support. So many fans didn't even
Even
realize
customer
they were
support.
subscribing to something illegal. And it generated millions. This
What?
wasn't just fans sharing a link. In the background, there's a whole ecosystem of companies focused on detecting, reporting, and shutting this stuff down. Content protection firms work with broadcasters to monitor every broadcast minute. They scan forums, track down leaks, and try to keep up with a moving target. But for every stream that gets shut down, another one pops up. It's a cat and mouse game, and it never really ends. Because copyright laws vary from country to country, while the internet doesn't care about borders. And that's the point. A lot of the time, these streams don't come from hobbyists in their bedrooms. It's something bigger. In some cases, it's organized crime. The men behind the Flawless operation had 30 employees. One of them working
Wow.
undercover at an anti-piracy company. They made more than 7 million euros in just a few years. And while Flawless simply charged money for access, many illegal streams are just a gateway, used to drive traffic to betting sites, gambling apps, or other businesses tied to organized crime. Let's be clear, this isn't some romantic Robin Hood story. It's a serious crime, often linked to networks that have nothing to do with football. And shutting that down, absolutely necessary. But that's not what most fans are doing. When a student clicks a Telegram link on a Saturday afternoon, they are not trying to fund the mafia. They are just trying to watch their team without taking out a loan. It's a reaction to a system that feels broken. For years, broadcasters overpaid for football rights and passed the cost down to fans. But in most cases, no one made a profit. They just kept overpaying, finding new investors or ways to cross-finance it. Then the internet changed the rules. In a world where creators sell memberships directly through YouTube or Twitch, the middleman looks outdated. So maybe the future isn't about fighting piracy harder. Maybe it's about rebuilding the product. Lower prices, simpler access. Because if rights holders don't adapt, the value of football media rights will keep declining. Not just because of piracy. The value lower prices, simpler access. Because if rights holders don't adapt, the value of football media rights will keep declining. Not just because of piracy, but because fans will stop paying. Look at what's already happening. FIFA struggled for months to sell the Club World Cup rights. Then they finally found a buyer in DAZN who will stream the tournament for free. How? Reportedly, with a little help from Saudi money. DAZN paid $1 billion for those rights, just after Saudi Arabia invested the same amount into DAZN. So again, this isn't about selling subscriptions and ad slots. It's about power and control. And it's proof that the old model is under pressure. Yes, piracy is illegal. And yes, it's a real threat to the business of football. But let's be honest, the business of football isn't exactly struggling. Transfer fees are still insane, executives still fly private, and somehow every other deal still includes crypto or blockchain. Illegal streaming didn't appear out of nowhere. It's the symptom of a broken system. And if the industry doesn't fix it, the pirates will keep sailing.
Wow. That speaks volumes, and it's also a teacher to many. I specifically sympathize with. Okay, just going back to our discussion from the beginning. I'm really bothered by how, you know, the the broadcasters still haven't understood. Maybe some of them have, but like the large majority, they still haven't understood that affordability is unaffordability. I think that's the right word. Unaffordability is the cause of piracy, or the main cause, if I should say so myself. And should the services be affordable in such a way that you don't have to show all the games, you just have to make a better product that communicates better value to the customer in such a way that they feel an issue of being left out. A good way Netflix does this is it limits the number of devices that you use and the quality of the programming that you're gaining access to, without limiting the content that you have access to. And that's the problem with EPL. Okay, well, maybe not EPL, but particularly the broadcasters, and one of them being DSTV for Africans. And I know DSTV is very prevalent around Africa. It's the fact that you're limited to the number of games that you can watch or the channels that you have access to that are actually showing these games. And not even just the games, even other kinds of content, like the other channels that you can't watch. And the problem with that is customers find other ways or other places to get that content, which is the sad news all the same. And it devalues the product that DSTV is trying to offer, because I can get it from some other channel. That's where Netflix has capitalized on. So you won't find people trying to watch movies on DSTV. They'll watch it on Netflix or on Amazon Prime or on HBO Max, or as it was previously called Max. I think they rebranded back to HBO Max. And that's the challenge. And I'm going to move also further to talk about how the customer through piracy affects how the broadcasters are able to pay for those rights. Imagine a case like this. If a broadcaster has been charged by the English Premier League a certain fee, they promise to pay the fee. They haven't paid for it, but they promise to pay it. Now they use the customer subscription model to promise the English Premier League that they're going to pay for it. They don't pay for it. Then what happens? The company goes bankrupt. They shut down the service. There is no broadcaster. So you guys will not watch the games, even if you use these fishy links to do it. So not only that, piracy also kills the jobs that are availing these streams from happening. All the same. So the broadcasters are also important. So there is a role to play from every angle. For the English Premier League, they have to set an affordable value for the broadcaster to pay, which in turn makes the broadcaster charge an affordable price for the customer or the consumer to pay. So they have to be fair in their valuation. If they overvalue it, they will mess up the whole cycle. And if they don't do that, how will they also pay their own bills? They'll have to rely on sponsors to pay those bills, like jersey sponsors, uniform, footwear, and all that shebang, or ticket pricing, which is quite tough. And you see, the upcoming market is changing. I wouldn't necessarily call it upcoming. Well, it's kind of upcoming, but like there's a divide in between the two, because they are the old diehards, the old guards, the people who grew up from a decade ago or even 2 decades ago, those who still watch the English Premier League, that are in their 40s going upwards. And then there's now the new gens, the Gen Zs, in their teens or in their young 20s, some even in their late 20s, if we're looking at this bridge in between. And them, they're intrigued by content that is more appealing and that has been influenced by other individuals. And you've seen all these other leagues that are coming up, the Kings League and all that are taking away those eyeballs from what? The old school football. English Premier League, FIFA and all that. So they're gonna have to act quick and develop something that can pull the younger audience to watch the game or the games, and thereby safeguard the culture that they introduced us to. So they also have a job to do all the same. Everyone has a role to play. So yeah, I think that's my speech for now. Anyway, with that in mind, thank you guys for watching. If you loved the video, or if you liked it, or you loved it, or both, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and also follow me on my socials. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have X. We have X. We have Facebook for the other audience that are on Facebook. And yeah, I think that's that. I think, yeah. See you in the next one.